Sarah Alpar was in the headlines today. So, fighter in the UFC. I like her. I think she's got major potential. Fighter in the UFC and wanted to put a training camp together. Couldn't do a training camp. She's not high enough up on the card yet. Doesn't have the sponsors behind her yet, right? I mean, everything's chicken egg card horse. Doesn't matter how good you are. Have you shown the world you're good? Okay, great. Sponsor comes in and help you. So that hasn't happened for her yet. So she sets up a GoFundMe to fund her training camp, and she hit it at $30,000. That was her goal. I don't know how close she is to getting there. This largely is in front of me, and I'm bringing it to you guys because Jake Paul stepped in and kicked in $5,000. Which $5,000 when somebody's trying to raise $5,000 is a lot of money any way you want to do it. But when a person has a goal of 30, that's a meaningful percentage that he just helped her out with. Now, did he do that to help her out, or did he think it was $5,000 to make himself look like a really nice guy? That was the larger piece of the pie. I've given money away before. I will share with you to help somebody. It's a piece. The larger piece, I'm buying goodwill. I look like a good guy. Fine. Whatever. Not totally relevant to the story. How do we get to the number of 30,000? I'm just curious. Is that to cover all your bills and expenses in training camp? Is that to rent a gym, a facility, to bring in coaches, training partners? That part I'm interested in, and I don't pass judgment. I'm genuinely interested in it. I fought 50 men. 5 of them were for world championships. Nothing since 2009 has been less than a co-main event. I only bring it to you to a meaningful career. I never spent $1 on training camp. I don't know anything about it. I don't fully know what a training camp is. When I hear the word camp, that always involves, at least for me, a sleeping situation. Camp is where you sleep. For me as a kid, it was outdoors. It was in a tent and it was outdoors. But when I hear camp, I can't help but think about the sleeping situation. Are you going to live somewhere else? For a lot of guys, the answer is yes. I just don't know anything about it. Every day was the same for me. When I was on the regional scene trying to get by, or again, some of these higher, more profile, I'm in the gym. I got a coach. It's the same gym. It's the same coach. I got my teammates, and maybe I'm getting ready for something. They put a little bit more focus on me. Maybe they're getting ready for something. We put a little bit of focus on them. We trade it all back and forth. But I could really name drop some impressive names on you. The Chris Liebens, the Ed Hermans, the Matt Lindlands, the Evan Tanners, the Randy Couture's of the world, the Jeff Munsons of the world. I don't know if I mentioned anybody right there that hasn't been a top guy or even fought for championships. They never went to camp. They didn't bring in special guys. We definitely didn't bring in a special coach. You would insult your own coach. Never happened. Clayton and I would go meet on the track. If it was a sunny day, we'd take our shirt off, get a little sunshine. We'd meet in my garage. We're in Oregon. It was usually really cold. Whatever it was, just found a workout space. But it didn't matter if we were working out or we were practicing or we were specifically honed in training. We were doing it with the same people. We were doing it in the same facilities. There just wasn't an added expense. Now, when the fight's over, you've got your arrangements and you make your payouts and you move on to the next one. I'm curious as to what it is she's doing. I'm curious as to what it is she has in mind. So far, I think I like it. But I'd really like to hear, what is it that you're doing? And I have seen, I don't pass judgment. I pass no judgment on her. I'm a fan. I have seen where people try to take themselves out of the group. They want, you're training with a team, you make it to some level, all of a sudden you want your own practice times. You want private practice times. You want full focus on you, which logically makes a level of sense. But now it's you and one person in a room, one set of eyes on you, along the theme and in the vein of I'm getting full focus. Or you can have a little less focus, but have 50 great athletes in the room, and now you got 100 eyes on you. After practice, you start asking some questions. What did you see? You get some group think. The greatest hospitals in the world aren't a doctor walks in. It's a team of doctors walk in, and they start bouncing ideas off until they give an accurate diagnosis. So it's just different ways of thought, and I'm very curious as to what is happening here. I'm very curious as to what is the goal and or the end game here. And I also think that it speaks very highly of the industry that we have, right? You could have just the elites and the fancies. I don't know that I like that precedence. I think there's got to be room and exposure for everyone. Now, I came through the amateurs. I came through the NCAAs. I had dreams of the Olympics, things like this. But everybody needs a level of exposure. I can tell you, when I put on grappling and submission underground, I could bring in nothing but the stars and the big names. I'm not doing that. I'm going all the way down to amateurs. If you work hard and you're dedicated and sacrificed, and I have an opportunity to give you exposure, I'm giving you exposure. And I've had to have those fights in back rooms with networks before. I'm not doing it. This guy works hard. I know who it is. Nobody's giving him a chance. All he wants over here is ability to perform where people can watch. If I have the ability to give it to him, I'm doing it. So I love that is an element within this organization. And Bellator gets credit too, fully. Rizin, not as much credit. UFC, ton of credit. Everybody of every skill gets somewhere to start. And then you start climbing from there, and you can climb pretty quickly. But I like that notion. I like that idea. I like how Sarah went about it. I think it was pretty good marketing, by the way. She has the Sarah Army or the Sarah team. She named her crew something that she was asking for help for. And they said, guys, back me, but then follow me. Watch me. Come along on this journey. I can assure you, the more dedication and the more time you're going to see it in my skills, you're going to see it in my performance. Well, now you're buying into something very cool, right? You throw a couple of bucks down, but now you're attached to her career, and you are going to do just that. You are going to watch. You are going to make sure that there's gains and progress. I like the whole thing. Cool move by Jake. Fair play by Sarah. Look forward to her next fight.